What's up, nerd and nerdettes? It's time for Superpower Shortie. This superpower is a splinter off the branch of light manipulation and a variation of elemental constructs. So sit down and get set for light weaponry. With the ability to light up any path, have an attack speed that can't be quantified by math, and create blasts so hot that they mimic God's wrath. Ooh, that was pretty cool. Users of this inspiring ability can create or wield weaponry with power over light, which in turn grants the user a wide variety of light-based abilities, obviously. But this ability is not only specific to mystic weapons, it also includes technologically advanced weapons, with the power of these weapons depending on what they were created for and what level of light-based ability they were intended to possess. This ability, like the others of its family, are fairly common and pretty much well portrayed in popular culture. This one perhaps just as much as any other version of this power, fire weaponry. And because the glowing weapon motif is one that has existed since the beginning of time, and one that you'll almost always find within a work or particular medium containing any hints of mysticism or magical themes. And when I say this, I cannot stress how important this concept is to our real world. So much so that it can be found everywhere, from cavemen fighting off predators with flaming sticks they found thanks to a stray lightning bolt, to a weird kid who burns ants with a magnifying glass, or even in the stories of old, aka Judeo-Christian lore, angels themselves wield swords glowing with a fire so bright and hot that it makes them someone you don't want to encounter on the battlefield. Irish mythology has a weapon referred to as, what is that, Frogera? I know I said that wrong, but anyway, this was the weapon of choice wielded by the warrior king Manannán and later the god Lu, who themselves was a deity that represented the sun and light. While in various other cultures, African, Celtic, and various Eastern religions, if a glowing sword isn't referenced, you can bet your sweet shade that they mentioned shining weapons of a sort, or weapons that reflected the light of the sun in unnatural ways. This translates to modern works as various weapons of popular culture have taken the glowy or shiny weapon theme and run with it to create iconic weapons such as the stereotypical energy blade or the energy weapon trope in general, with the most famous example of this arguably being found in Star Wars, you know, the original trilogy with Stormtrooper energy blasters and light grenades, or even Darth Vader with his iconic red lightsaber. Symbolically though, this normally causes it to fill any role needed in order to progress the plot, because that's what this power is in normal instances. It's used as a plot device, something that can be used to get the story going. And as such, it'll normally be portrayed as a purifying force that the side of good can use against the side of darkness, both literal darkness and metaphorical darkness, and or a weapon of title and or authority. I mean, who's going to challenge someone who has a weapon that constantly blinds, burns, and baptizes others? And that's one of the things we have to be wary of, because while I'm sure we'd all love to have superpowers, me more so than any of you, I'm willing to bet your life on that. Forging a weapon like this requires skill beyond measure and a little divine flavor sprinkled in. So normally it can't be done through normal means, unless you guys help me out. How? Easy. By hitting that like and subscribe button. And before you ask, no, the subscribe button isn't a glowing red weapon in process. It's just red to get your attention. If you wonderful nerd and nerdettes find a way to infuse this mystical element with any particular weapon, then hit that share button to let others know how you did it, because I definitely want to know. The cool thing about this power is that it snatches its themes from the very first video I've done on this channel, fire manipulation, and light manipulation that happened later on, with the cultural and symbolic meanings literally translating to this power. So if you want any more information on how this power can be used, or just want a source you can relate it to for more applications, then check out my video on those two powers, but more importantly, light manipulation. You'll also get to hear an analysis of what the power really means, as well as how it's helped shape the world, and via that, how the world has helped shape this power, or how we use it in popular culture. The video is a little rough, but I think it gets the point across well enough. The link is in the description. And you know what? Go ahead and check out fire weaponry as well. It's pretty much the same thing. Now, with the power to wield glowing weapons comes the natural ability to create, shape, or generate light-based weaponry. And so I don't forget, Let's just add light generation and or light manipulation to that, because it isn't much of a light-based weapon if it doesn't create, light. You can then use the light you created or control and merge it with the existing weaponry via light infusion. And once you learn to infuse visible light, preferably on a melee weapon with an edge, those seem to be the most popular types for some reason. I don't know why, just go with it. You would then be able to attack others, cutting, slicing, or poking to your heart's content, and then afterwards cauterizing said wound through a 1-2 combo of slicing first and then singeing as an after effect with light slash. This is just a little headcanon, but the previous applies to weapons that existed prior to the light, not as a direct cause of it. If you want a more fantastical version of light weaponry, or I guess less fantastical version depending on how you look at it, then in addition to the previous, you could take this ability a step beyond and create light-based weaponry out of light via light constructs. And taking that ability, you can specialize in long-range attacks via light artillery. And because most energy produces light, let's add light energy infusion to that as well. So if we were to work our way up from that near endless list while still being a sort of concise, light bow construction allows you to create light bows and arrows from the glowy stuff. Light bullet projection lets the user release hard light-based projectiles that can mimic the properties of bullets, or they can use supercharged energy-based bullets that of course produce light, because energy produces light in the majority of cases. And with light bomb generation, the user can create and launch light-based explosives that are usually more destructive than we care to imagine due to the heat and concussive force produced. From there, we get into the melee class, those that like the physical exertion of wielding the light weaponry they create. Light whip creation allows the user to create hard light lashes out of light and or energy while still allowing the user to keep a relative distance. If you want to get closer but still keep your enemies within poking distance, then photokinetic pole arm construction sounds like the ability for you. This includes but is not limited to glaives, pole axes, pillars, spears, scythes, tridents, etc. But for those who feel more confident than the previous users and want the legend and fame of being the guiding light of your story or your particular medium, then with photokinetic blade construction, you can burn or blind any who stand against you. And there you have it, light weaponry in a nutshell. Since this ability is so heavily related to light manipulation, heat manipulation, fire manipulation, or any other energy-based power, shoot, you can even include electricity manipulation in there too. If you want any more applications or ways to be creative with this power, then head over there, mostly to light manipulation. Other than that, this power has the element's standard weaknesses, so have fun and remember to wear glasses. Sunglasses. Thanks for watching. Remember to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll be back in the breakdowns. See you guys in the next one.